I got evacuated to Blackpool, and the people there wrote to my mum and said she's always playing in the streets, so we're going to send her to dancing school. And when I came back, the lady, Mrs. North, she pinned a little note to my coat and said, you know, Barbara Windsor, Barbara Deeks, we love her very much and she means a lot to us. She's so little, she means a lot to us, but let her carry on her dancing. So that's what Mummy did. She sent me to dancing school, Juvenile Jollities, Madame Behenna, and I used to get up and sing and dance at little local charity shows. And during one of these shows, a gentleman came in, a talent scout called Mr. Brian Mickey, and he said to Madame Behenna, I'd like to meet the mother of the little short fat little blonde called Barbara Ann Deeks. He says she's got something. Anyway, he met my mother, who was a wonderful mother, but a bit of a Cockney snob. She wanted to better herself. So he said, I think your daughter should go on the stage. She said, my Babs, go on the stage. I'll have you know she goes to a convent. She won the highest marks in the whole of North London. She's going to be a foreign language telephonist. And anyway, he talked her into it, and I went to audition. I was only, 12, 13. And Mummy said I walked through the stage door as Barbara Ann Deeks and came out as Barbara Windsor, because I'd never been that side of the footlights. I used to go to the theatre and see these wonderful variety artists at Hackney Empire and Finsbury Park Empire, famous empires down here, and sit in the stalls. But going back to that story is that wonderful Brian Mickey who discovered me, discovered Morecambe and Wise.
Over the years you've done everything. Obviously the movie success, unprecedented,
yes.
Variety, theatre.
Shakespeare.
You've done the works, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I'm very, very, very lucky in my career.
I've heard about your reputation for giggling, actually.
I know.
Did it ever happen during the carry-ons? Because there's so many comedians around then. Well,
yes, of course it did. The thing is, they were so strict. You wouldn't believe that, would you? They were very hard, but we did laugh. What we tended to do was laugh in between shots. Do you know what I mean? Because Kenny would sit there telling these outrageous jokes. You know what I mean? And you heard the same jokes. Every film you heard the same jokes, but he would give a different setting, you know what I mean? A bit like the Carry On films, actually. You know, it was the same script, wasn't it? Just different costumes, different settings. But we did laugh a lot on them, but we worked very hard, you know, which is, people do, gosh, if you're a nurse, you work hard. But you know what I'm saying? They were really long, long hours. And they didn't like you to get anything wrong. They only like to go 1 or 2 takes. It's funny because people say, oh, you're doing those films, you know. I mean, how do you feel playing that kind of a part? So I said, well, hold on a minute. That was one part, and at night I'd be in a musical. I mean, when I did camping, I'd finish at 6:10. I remember I'd jump into the car and I'd shoot into the West End, and I was performing with Vanessa Redgrave in Threepenny Opera, at Prince of Wales. So it was just another part, and it's like Sid. I mean, Sid had his television shows. He was a wonderful song and dance man, Sid James. I saw him in Guys and Dolls. I saw him in Kiss Me Kate. And Kenneth, all those reviews he did, you know, Pieces of 8, 1 over the 8 for amusement only. Joni, Hattie, all could do anything in showbiz other than what you saw them. They were wonderful, dramatic actors. I mean, Bernie Breslow, I saw him do a lot of Shakespeare in the park.
Yeah. Now, you've never forgotten your roots, and I think that you really are still a big supporter of music hall, what's left of it.
Oh, I do.
I know that you support one particular music hall, don't you, in London?
Oh, you know that, do you?
I do know that, yes.
Gosh. So this is lovely. There's a nice little place called Brick Lane Music Hall, and they don hats, and they all sing, Daisy, Day, give me your heart to do. And they have little comics. And about a few years ago, I went down there, and the guy, and they were having trouble. They were in terrible trouble. Anyway, he said, we've got a little lady in there, and out there, it would be my ambition if she performed here. So I just had 1 or 2 cocktails too many, because next day my agent said, what's this you said you'll appear at Brick Lane Music Hall? I said, oh, that's all right, I'll get up. And I did a week there, and we did wonderful. So I went back there about 3 or 4 times.